Hi, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to the Singer's Diary podcast style. My name is Alyssa Harris. I live here in New York City, so apologize if it's noisy. We get on here every week or so and just talk about things that we've learned, talked about things that have happened this week in my life as a singer, things, discoveries, downloads, things that have just, epiphanies, things that have popped up in my head. And I just want to share them with you. If you're a singer or an aspiring singer or a performer of any kind, you can definitely relate to this. So that's why I share it, because I know somebody out there is going to relate. So it's going to be podcast style, just going to be reading what I wrote. So if you have things you want to go do, go clean the house, go do the dishes, just listen to me talk. If not, let's enjoy the nice weather. Let's get started. Okay, I don't know who needs to hear this, but nobody is laughing at you, okay? Nobody is sitting around plotting, talking about you, making fun of you, or the things that you're doing. Okay, nobody's gonna make fun of you for trying something new, for trying something that seems like it's out of your comfort zone. I think a lot about this, you guys. I think a lot about how much a fear of looking stupid can hold us back from a lot of things. I think about how much we're more likely to accomplish the things that we want when it comes to our goals if we were not afraid to be seen trying. The reality is, everyone starts out with something, especially if it's something new, right? It always feels a little bit cringe when you get started. That's just normal until one day it's not cringe anymore. So whether it's learning a new skill, improving your singing, going to the gym, posting more content, whatever it might be, I think taking the first step and then the second step and then getting that momentum going, it's the only way to do it. You have to desensitize yourself to those feelings or the fear of those scary feelings. I'm not going to come on here and act like I don't care what people think, because that's not true. I don't think anybody can say I just truly don't care what people think about me. I care. I mean, we live in society, right? Everyone cares. But I'm also coming to the realization lately that people will always give you more credit than you give yourself. So if you think about it, no one is making fun of someone who isn't doing as well as they are. So if most people, like, they see you getting started with something and, if you're not that good at it, most people are not going to be making fun of that. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. I mean, maybe some people are just mean, hateful people like that, but most people are not, giving negativity towards someone who is not doing as well as they are. It's just doesn't happen. And if they perceive you and that you're doing better than them and they're still hating, then they're just a hater, right? It's simple as that. But people are going to look at a person's attempts to do something for themselves or their career as commendable or admirable. And they're going to cheer you on no matter what. So you just got to be fearless with whatever it is that you do. You got to be bold. You got to be bad. You got to be bold. You got to be wiser. So this is me preaching to myself as well, because I'm often trying new things and I'm always doing things that are outside of my comfort zone. So much so to that now it's like not even news to me anymore. I just do it now and I don't even think about it. And I'm failing. I fail all the time. I fail over and over again. And I do get in my head at times and I think, oh my God, people are looking at me, they're laughing, thinking I'm dumb or I'm silly, and maybe they are, right? But you just cannot worry about that. You got to do whatever you want in this life. And you want to be able to look at your life when everything's said and done. Not to go there, but when everything's said and done, you don't want to have regrets. You want to look around and be impressed with the life that you made, the efforts that you put in, and the impact that you ultimately, contributed to this world. It's super, super important. You want to be impressed with yourself and how far that you've come. Always. Okay, the second thing I wanted to talk about is when blessings and good fortune are in the neighborhood. So have you ever experienced it when it feels like everyone around you is getting jobs, or they're booking things, or they're getting in relationships, or they're having all these good things happen for them, and it feels like you're not? Has anybody dealt with that? Yeah, raise your hand. I definitely have. But I heard this quote that says, just because they succeeded before you doesn't mean that they succeeded instead of you. And that is so powerful. I would like to take that a step further though and say that if you see others having good things happen to them, that's actually a good sign. That's not something that would make me sad or like, you know, make me discouraged. I mean, it does, but when you think about it, it's like the mindset is, oh, well, I'm next. If people are getting blessings, people are getting good things, that must mean, as my friend says, God is in the neighborhood. He's just going to he's hitting up my door next, right? It is just always good to have that mindset. I always have my ears open to conversations about comparing ourselves to others because in this business that we're in, it's so prevalent. We're always getting pitted against each other and we always see each other as competition. And I don't like that. I wish that it were different, of course. But the way that we can stop thinking that way, the way that we can stop that mindset is to start seeing others as an example of how far we can go. So people that we perceive as more successful than us, instead of comparing ourselves, oh, I'm not that, it's like, oh, they're that and I also like I can aspire to be that. There's room for everybody. It sounds so cliche, but there really is room for everybody to win. I always think about that quote from my therapist years ago that said, the only reason you'd be jealous of someone is if you think that they have something that you can't have. What makes you think you can't have it? What's stopping you? Literally nothing. You always can. You can be as successful as the next person. You just got to do the work or accept it, right? Okay, lastly, I want to talk about being a multi-talented human being. Now, it's something that hits close to home for me, but also for a lot of people. It's something that myself and a lot of my artist creative friends deal with. And on the surface, it is a good problem to have because, I mean, so many of my friends are singers, musicians. They can dance, they can sing, act, model, play sports, they can paint, they can do math. Like, they can do all of these amazing things. And they have all these like talents. And on the surface, like, it's amazing, right? But it's amazing, but it can also be super overwhelming. Let me know if you have dealt with that as a person with multiple talents and like you like just being pulled in many directions. Like, oh my God, life's so hard. I'm so talented, but it's true. Like, it can be really overwhelming and frustrating to figure out what you want to do, especially if you don't know what you want to do in life or in your career. And I heard a quote once that said, you can do anything, but you can't do everything. Mind blown, right? I like that because in this world, we are encouraged to monetize everything, turn everything into a side hustle and, make all this money and have all these like income streams. And the first instinct is to want to pursue all the things that we're good at. We want to go that route. But for me personally, I'm trying to exit that mentality and realize that just because I can do everything doesn't mean that I need to or doesn't mean that it's wise to. It's just me personally because I feel like I'll spin my wheels endlessly when it comes to ideas. I'm full of creative ideas, right? But I don't have the wherewithal. I don't have the brain power to necessarily bring every single one of them to fruition. I can't pursue every single one of my dreams and goals, even though I want to. And it's overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. So it's better for me to just focus on one or two things, and I'm learning that now. I find it hard to focus on one thing sometimes. It's best to zero in on one thing or two things and become the best that you possibly can at it so that it can bring you the most money and the most success, a peace of mind, longevity, right? I find it hard to focus on one thing sometimes because I do have so many interests, but I notice that when I focus on one thing, I put all my energy into achieving this, and all of my effort goes towards that one thing. I reap the benefits so much more than when I'm splitting my energy in all these different directions. It's my constant struggle, but it's something that I'm learning and I'm working through it. So that's all I have for today's podcast. Chatting kind of fast because I'm trying to get out of here. Got somewhere to be. But I will chat with you guys in the next one. Let me know what you thought about this week's discoveries. See you next time.